Lelam had to wash day. How you doing, YouTubers? Welcome to my new channel. I was arrested on the 21st of February this year, and while I was in police custody, they had my phones, and then they later returned them to that little plastic clear bag that they put all your belongings in when you're in custody. So I believe that they done something to my phone. They went through it. They got the IMEI number. I'm not too sure. But anyways, I'm out on bail. Something I'm not too happy with. Don't want people to think that I think I'm cool or some West Side gangster. No, it's nothing to do with that. Paperwork, I'll show you all more. Bail acknowledgement. I was charged with 3 offences, and yeah, three of them all not very light, but in light of what I've been going through as a targeted individual and all the attempts that I've made to seek legal help have fallen onto deaf ears for the past 4 years. I haven't stopped trying. I've written to every governing body on this bloody island. I've even rang Human Rights Commission, which is in my first channel, titled Andy B, and they also turned me down. So I'm kind of afraid, because I've been into their custody before. I've been into a facility for suicide attempt, and I had 2 attempts at my life. 2 Indigenous Australians came into my room and tried to stab me with butter knives, and I threw the blanket on them and grabbed them by the throat and pushed them down on the bed. I took the knife off them and I said, just leave it at that. Don't tell the people that told you to do this that you tried doing it and you failed, because they won't be too happy with you. You'll be in a lot of trouble. So I handed them back the butter knife and said, just get out of my room. But anyways, nevertheless, this video that I'm making right now is it's been a few days in the making up here. Just been thinking over it, going through it. They finally put me on medication, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, and it's making me very confused. The riots have calmed down in my head. I mean, my mind's not over-analysing everything, and it's very slow. I wouldn't say that I've become zombified, but I am very confused. I'm unable to think rationally and make the right decisions. I just feel like I'm stuck in a limbo state. But anyways, I'll just read to you what it says. Hold on. In the bail concerns, it says, there is an unacceptable risk that the accused person, if released from custody, will fail to appear at any proceedings for the offence, or endanger the safety of victims and individuals or the community. Now, for the past 4 years, I've been hunted down, chased around by these street minions of the program, intimidated. They've used a lot of fear tactics to push me into doing what I was caught doing. And I was only carrying knives because I had been stabbed in the leg when I was homeless last year. And I was wobbling around and my stitches had popped. It was just an ugly feeling. It was just a horrible experience. I may look like a roughneck, I may look like a gangster or whatever you guys want to put it, but I'm not. I'm just your everyday human being. Do you know what I mean? Just because I got tattoos and stuff like that doesn't mean I'm a gangster or I'm a thug. And that applies for everyone. You know, a lot of people are in jail for victimless crimes, or for crimes that they've committed to try and survive, or crimes they've committed when they are under the influence of narcotics, especially that methamphetamine, ice. That stuff's horrible. That makes people not human, makes them do horrible things. But nevertheless, I will be going into the belly of the beast, and I am afraid, because when I'm in there, God knows what they're going to do to me. Targeted individuals out there know what it's like living in the community, and you're being harassed and targeted by just regular folk. Imagine being put in prison. You're like hardened criminals, people that are very tough, that train every day, that are huge monsters. They got their cliques and everything. It's going to be a very tough time for me, and I don't think that I'm going to make it out alive. And they want me to run. This is what the pressure they're putting on me. They've stopped following me out in the street. You know, I'm not being stalked, I'm not being watched, I'm not being monitored. To my knowledge, I'm not being monitored. I know I'm being monitored on my phone. And I have a very strong gut feeling that there's some form of audio recording in my home. But nevertheless, I feel that I won't make it out of there alive. Even if I do go into protective custody or isolation or whatever you want to call it, the boneyard, I'll end up being put on the dog. Either way. And because my uncle, the one that sort of instigated all this, the one that's put me into the program through his, his hierarchical connections, it's going to make sure that I don't come out alive. You know, I was put into the program through my auntie and uncle's connections with these people in, topper ranks of society, higher ranks of society, people with pull, people with power. And I wasn't supposed to last this long. You know, I was supposed to fold when I was homeless in the van. They threw everything at me. They threw everything at me, even threw the kitchen sink at me. And I still persevered. I woke up every single day in that hellhole. Every time I'd wake up, every morning I'd wake up and I'd say to myself, is this real? Is this where I am? I'd look up at the roof of my van. You know, I'd be wet from the dew falling down. Be freezing cold. Just had my dog. And the harassment was horrendous. The stalking was horrendous. It was on steroids. It was just huge. And I'm guessing me surviving all that and pushing through has gotten a lot of attention drawn towards me, which has escalated my position in the program. It was just turned up. They realised what I was capable of. I showed up on their radar. You know, at the time, I didn't know what I was capable of. You know, I didn't know I was... many people have seen my other videos about RH negative and all this other stuff. There's just speculations. They're just me pondering, taking wild stabs in the dark. I know I can do certain things, but I don't know how I can do them. It's not at will. I have foresight. I had foresight of me being arrested the day before. I was just sitting there and I just got this feeling of me being cuffed and tied down. And funny enough, the following day it happened. But to add, Bankstown Local Command, Police Command, excuse me, treated me with respect, treated me like a human being. They were very nice to me. I had my dog. They allowed me to bring my dog back home while I was in handcuffs. They gave my dog water out in the street. When I went back to the police station, they made sure I had food, that I was fed. They kept checking up on me to see if I needed anything. But nevertheless, I was still under duress, and you know, they informed me that I didn't have to take the voluntary interview, but I felt intimidated by the amount of presence of police around me. I mean, they verbally didn't tell me that I had to do the interview, but I was intimidated into doing so. And I was under duress, you know, I was in a completely cold environment. You know, you take most of your clothes off, most of your belongings, they break you down. You got nothing. I was in a little cell, you know, with a glass door was in front, that far in front of me. I counted how many steps I could take before I reached the end of it, and it was 2.5 steps, and I was in there for about 8 hours, and I was going crazy in there, you know, I just felt like a monkey. I just wanted to start banging my head against the thing, but no, I kept my cool, remained civilized, and I didn't turn into a canary in that cage. But yeah, just to let people know that I was treated with respect and like a human being. But I don't understand what their motive was. Their motive could have been to butter me up so I can take the interview. Now, I kind of shot myself in the leg by taking that interview, because I clearly gave an admission. So, you know, how can I put this? By statutory laws that are governing us, and, you know, I have breached these laws by carrying these knives and other things that I had on my possession. But for those 3 things that I had on my possession, I clearly have justifiable explanation, regardless of what the law states. You know, I have taken, all appropriate measures to seek legal help. You know, I was caught with a little bit of cannabis, you know, and I had been going to see my doctor quite frequently. And I told him I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain in my gut. And I've had a lot of examinations, a lot of blood tests. This is going back a year now. You know, they've prescribed me Tramal. That makes me sick. That hurts my stomach more. And it just knocks me out. So I tried cannabis. You know, and I'm not saying that I've smoked cannabis before just for pain. No, I've had it recreationally as well. But at this moment, at this point in time, I'm using cannabis medicinally, and it was helping me. And I'm being dealt with as a criminal for trying to medicate myself and help myself and ease my pain. And there are millions of people around the world that are suffering the same thing. People with terminal illnesses, they go jump through bureaucratic hoops and break laws just so they can have a bit of relief. And it's just stupid. That's just silly. People are being put in jail for a plant. What is wrong with this world? Why do I not like the plant so much? But anyway, that's a different topic altogether. I don't want to get into that debate. But yeah, I genuinely feared for my life. This is why I was carrying the knives. And I also had a bug out pack in case I was chased again by someone with a gun. You know, I'm not going to lie. I was going to take that fucking gun off them and take their car and then shoot off to the bush. I didn't want to hurt no one, but I didn't want to get hurt myself. Can you understand the predicament that I was in? You know, I've tried so hard to make a life for myself, to break out of this social status. You know, I've done a security guard course where I paid $800. You know, I've done a 2 weeks course, which was very intense, but I wasn't able to get my security license because I was caught with cannabis 5 years ago. And it wasn't even it was only a small amount. It was only like what you would call a 1 cone or one bong. But that stopped me from progressing in life and becoming a contributing member of society. You know, I'm also a barber by trade. I'm a hairdresser. I'm qualified for 10 years now. And I can't seem to find a job because wherever I go to work, I get harassed. So if there is anyone out there, just know that if I go into jail or any facility, I'm dead. So if I don't make any more videos once I go in, that's the reason why. But I do hope the courts handle it with diligence and care and sensitivity. Anyways, folks, to target individuals out there, stay strong, do not break. Godspeed. May the peace of the Lord be with you all. I love you.